welcome everyone to Sunday Sentiments.
Of course, this is a hate crime.
And if she's found guilty, then she has to face the consequences.
They normally end up killing some particular kinds of people.
It's a violation of human rights.
That's a very traumatic event.
So I just wanted to ask the panel about their own opinions on this topic.
Keshi?
Yeah, and I was curious about this Shakespeare thing, wondering where the judge could have come up with this. Then I did a Google search, and that's why I use the expression sentence to Shakespeare, because they do have programs in the US, in the state of Massachusetts. I don't know if they are still continuing, where adolescents are sentenced to Shakespeare. Adolescent offenders, instead of being sentenced to jail or wherever they take to these juvenile places they take them, they are sentenced to act or to be involved in projects where they learn Shakespeare lines, they learn a play, and they actually perform a play. And the point of this usually is offenders who are limited in education, so they are trying to see if maybe exposing them to some sort of program like this, rehearsals, participating, becoming actors, will change their mindset towards being criminals, and it's actually part of their probation. But remember, I said these are kids, adolescents who are maybe limited in their chances of getting education. This guy is not limited. This guy is a whole uni student at university who was studying criminology. So what is the point? He's not limited that they have to expose him to this. He's already exposed to that. But a judge can come up with such a judgment is very, very weird indeed.
Yes, thank you, Keshi. Jamila, you have something to add?
Yeah, I just believe that even like for the kids to somehow teach them, I don't know, Shakespeare, drama, I don't know, for them to be in theaters and stuff, there's still no repercussions from that. Like, are you gonna add community service to that? Something like make them do something. Like, why is it that you're just giving them something that they could actually like not even feel like they being punished, that they're actually having a good time? Like, I'm sorry, if those people who were like, which one? You want to go to juvenile detention or whatever it's called, or do you want to read Shakespeare? They're gonna pick Shakespeare. Like, it's a bit weird. Like, they should have what, at least 2 months there, and then do your stupid Shakespeare thing. And then the fact that himself, who's not even a kid, gets that treatment, like he doesn't need help thinking. I'm sorry, if you're in university, first of all, that should be even more scary for these people. He went to uni to study criminology, and I definitely know it's not because he wanted to actually be in the justice system. He wanted to know the ropes to see how he could get away with something like this. That's what I believe that he went to go do, to study that for. So them just sweeping that, like pretending that he didn't just do that when that's also a part of him planning to become a terrorist, is just beyond me. And someone my age, I've said this, at 21, you're literally legal around the entire world. There's no excuse from this guy. It's very like disgusting that he's being given this chance, and there's people who don't even do anything, and they're even shot by police and killed on sight for not even doing anything. And then him, it's like, oh, you can read Shakespeare.
Yes.
Like, even me, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do nothing and read Shakespeare. It's like, really, it's not like a punishment for some people. So very child, it's like you're in school. Like, that's how it feels. Like in school, someone's like, oh yeah, you were late for class, you have to read the book like over there until your time's up. Type of punishment is that? He's not 5 years old.
He wasn't actually given any kind of, like, we looked up the jail sentencing too, and they said that apparently he was given 2 year suspended imprisonment, plus a further 2 years on license. But like the thing that people are focusing on is this judge is saying, I'm gonna give you homework. It's not even a punishment, it's homework. He's giving him homework to read, and he's like, I'm gonna check if you're reading your Shakespeare, and I'm gonna quiz you on it once every however many like months or something like that, however many weeks later. And somehow like Shakespeare is anti like terrorism conversion therapy. Like, how does that make any sense? He was talking about reading Jane Austen, didn't even, by the way, recommend any kind of person of color to read about. Just the classical, like classic white authors that everybody knows about.
Like he's literally racist. That's literally his entire persona is he wants to go kill basically POC people or immigrants. So
And gay people.
yeah.
Keshi and then Shiko after.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention quickly that the kids who are sentenced to Shakespeare in the States, they actually they have committed lower level crimes, including larceny, assault, battery, and vandalism. And these crimes are usually, or rather the Shakespeare program is usually also in connection with therapy. So it's not just that they are told they go and read Shakespeare, but they're also going through programs. But like Jamila said, is this actually the way to train people? Why? How come they're not told to read Crime and Punishment? You know, the book Crime and Punishment. Why Shakespeare? What's the significance of that? Maybe Shiko can tell us.
All right, thank you. Shiko next then.
Well, I can't tell you why they were told to read Shakespeare rather than Crime and Punishment, but I don't know if you can hear me because I'm in okay. What I found strange was, and maybe you've discussed this, but that this guy had been given lots of chances before, and even the judge referred to that. He had been given many chances by others, but refused to listen. And somehow he's still treated with this kid gloves on, and oh, you have to promise me you will not read this material, and everyone trying to understand why in the world he would be reading this material, and being referred to psychiatrists and blah blah blah. When we know other Black and brown people, if they were involved in anything to do with terrorist material, they would not get these several chances that this guy got at 21. So the double standards are actually like a slap in the face to minority groups, because everyone who has a potential to be a terrorist should be treated the same. So what are they waiting for? Are they waiting for him to blow up a building or shoot some people to actually then do something about it? How many chances does he need to get? It's very, very frustrating. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I'm sure you've all said it, and whatever you say that I concur.
Also to add to Shiko's point, I feel like they probably still will treat him with kid gloves if he actually blew up something, at least depending on who it was, because that's usually how it is in these situations. If you attack a place with like a Black church, you get taken to McDonald's. If you shoot up a school, then you'll just be handcuffed and taken away, be given a light sentence, and just sent off on your merry way, like you didn't just take somebody's child away from them. It always depends on who it is that the victims are. That is gonna determine how much they're actually gonna care and how much they're actually gonna punish these people. Because if they, like I said, if they attacked Black people, disabled people, gay people, there's been even just in America, I'm just thinking of the shootings in America, like at the gay nightclubs and stuff like that. Usually they are treated so much better, and people quickly forget about what these people did, and then it's just brushed under with all the other shootings that are happening and all these other terrorist acts. But if they blew up like a government building, or if they blew up a neighborhood that was with rich white people, then there would be much more like pressure on to be like, hey, this guy is weird. he's also blowing up his own people. Then they would then they would start caring, but they don't actually care until it's somebody that they themselves can picture themselves as the victim. Then they all of a sudden care. I feel like that's how it is in a lot of these situations. Also, the fact that Shiko mentioned that he was given several chances too. Like right when he turned 18, he was already on a watch list because he'd already downloaded so much. Was put into a program, I believe, at that point. Didn't work because in 2019, they also caught him again. They were like, you're not stopping, even though we've just been trying to help you. And then now in 2020, I believe, is when he got booked for this and then was sentenced later this year in August. Like, how do you give this man 3 chances to just do the bare minimum? Don't even download the white supremacists things, and he still does that anyway. Like, you got 3 chances, and now you have to read Shakespeare. Okay, so Shiko and then Kiriko after.
I'd like.
Kiriko,
Yeah,
please.
thank you very much. I wanted to say that that white privilege is actually real, especially white male privilege. And that's why I get very irritated when people go around saying, oh yeah, you guys keep saying about white privilege, it doesn't exist and what. It's so clear. The only people who think it doesn't exist are people who are closing their eyes deliberately because it makes them more comfortable. So we are not going to keep quiet. So they are continue in their comfort. We have to continue speaking up. It is not okay. If this person was a person of color, everything would be totally, totally different. Totally different. How many chances does the person get? It's extremely irritating and very disturbing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I feel like we also see this situation in, I think we've mentioned this, I've mentioned this in a previous segment at one point, that there was this man who was like 60 years old, like a white man who's 60 years old or something like that. And they were like, you're too old to commit crime. We're just going to release you early. And right when he got out, he murdered a woman in front of her 2 kids and then 2 other women later. I feel like a lot of the times they'll look at these perpetrators, these like terrorists and these convicts, and I'll be like, no, he won't do it again. I'll give him another chance. Like, did you see any, like, did you even take him to a psychologist who said that he has been changing his ways? Like, have you actually seen a professional who said that this man is making progress? They usually don't, and they're just like, I feel like I have a gut feeling that you listening to, like, reading Shakespeare, you're no longer a terrorist. I feel it in my gut. That's always how they are with these things. Keshi, please.
Shakira, it's not just a feeling you have. Actually, the judge was very, he handled this guy with kid gloves. At the sentencing, he told him, you are a lonely individual with a few, if any, true friends. You are highly susceptible to recruitment by others, more prone to action, but I am not of the view that harm was likely to be done. So this judge was very understanding of this young man, that he is highly suggestible to commit crimes, but he would not have done it. It's like he knows him personally. He's a psychologist. He's able to see motives. He can read the brain and mind of this guy. And also that he's a lonely man. How many people have been extended? How many criminals, let's say people like him, who are Islamist fundamentalists, like he is also a, how can you call, what can you call, I mean, an extremist, Islamist extremist.
Islamic?
No, I'm saying he's not an Islamic extremist. He is an extremist. He is anti-Semitic. He is anti-gay. He is anti-immigrants, and he also follows philosophies of Hitler, Nazi philosophy. So I'm now comparing with similar people, Islamic extremists. How many of them are given this kid gloves treatment, being the judge being understanding that they are lonely, they have no friends, and blah, 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 all this. None of them should be given that treatment either. whether it's an extremist on one religion or the other, or a hateful guy like him, he should not be given, according to the law, the British law, the English law, British law, anyone who is found with that paraphernalia or whatever he had should be jailed, maximum, not minimum, 15 years. So this understanding the judge was giving him is, like we said, it's male privilege, it's white privilege, and it's not extended to other people.
Very true new statement. Shika?
I'll try again. Can you hear me or not?
Mhm.
Okay, so I was saying that apparently he was acquitted of 6 other offenses. And the reason was because when he was asked about those, that material, 6 other material, he said he didn't know what they were when he downloaded them. So all he had to do was just say that, oh, yeah, I downloaded them, but I didn't know what they were. And that's it, he was acquitted. I mean, who else would get this kind of, letting off the hook? All you need to say is, I didn't know, and that's it. So it just does show you very, very clearly that some people are treated much, much better than others. They're seen as childlike and susceptible and honest, regardless of what they've done.
Yes. Just that was a new part of information that I didn't know. I can't even say that I agree with the thing that he's saying doesn't even make sense, because he is technically like Gen Z. He's from my generation. There's nobody in my generation that looks at things and randomly downloads things that I don't understand. I'm not gonna feel like everybody in our generation, like who knows, like grew up with technology, knows if you download something you don't know what it is, you might get a virus. Your whole computer's gonna break down. Nobody wants that. How is you just gonna say, oh, but I didn't know that this was, Nazi stuff. That was an accident. Oh, so you downloaded 70,000 documents on accident? 70,000. Please. Oh my goodness. I really can't. Because even just saying the thing that Keshi mentioned earlier, the quote from the judge saying that he's a lonely individual. There are many people in this world that are lonely. Even like some people just feel like, even if it's just like once in a while, you're just like, oh, I don't really feel surrounded by people. Like I've felt that before. I'm not gonna go and shoot up people or try to download. Like maybe Hitler was right. Like who? No sane person is gonna look at that. Like me, I have no friends. All of a sudden, that means I must love Hitler, and then that he was right in all of his ideologies, and all gay people and all immigrants and all POC people in general just have to be taken out because I'm lonely. Like maybe you need like you need a psychologist, or you need classes on how to interact with normal people if you have such a problem making friends. Like you could go to new clubs. That's what a lot of people do. They go to events where people have similar interests as them. You can't just blame everybody else for why you don't have, like, why people don't want to be friends with you. Have you thought maybe there's something that I need to work on in myself? There's something toxic about me that I need to change so I can get out there and make friends and make connections and stuff like that. Being lonely isn't an excuse, and being like unknowledgeable to the things that he's downloading is not an excuse either.
Or if that's seen as an excuse, then that should be across the board, because there are actually a lot of children of, for example, of migrants, second generation migrants. I don't even know why people are still called migrants when they were born in a country, but they might feel rejected by society and end up becoming susceptible to recruitment by this kind of, exactly what the judge said about this guy, but they're not given this kind of understanding and support. It should be fair, it should be equal. If that's the way you're going to look at it, then it should be like that across the board for all young people.
Yes, definitely.
Just Just
right.
a quick comment. A quick comment to say I was surprised. Actually, one thing that surprised me about this case is that this guy was anti-Semitic, and usually they react very quickly where there is anti-Semitism. But in this case, nothing really. It was like he got away with it. I guess people have the right to have ideas in their heads about whichever group they want, but that just surprised me. I didn't want to discuss it, just to say it surprised me that he was anti-Semitic and he got away with it. But it just shows, yeah, we have freedom of thought also. You can think what you want about, this is what has taught me here. You can think what you want about other groups as long as you don't go out to commit something. And if you're a man, and a white man at that, the judge will find excuses for you.
Yes. Prejudices, as you say, or like thoughts like that are quite common in our society. It's something that everybody needs to work on. But I feel like the extremes where it comes out is where these people download like they get memorabilia and download documents that detail how to actually cause damage to these people. Like it's maybe in your head, if you have those intrusive thoughts, you have thoughts about different groups of people. That is not uncommon. Many people have that, but acting on it or even just thinking this way to this extreme is absolutely crazy. And these people definitely need to be punished with more than just being asked to read Shakespeare for a few months or some other things too. If there are no more comments from the panel today, I think we'll be wrapping it up. Thank you all for watching, all the subscribers out there that we have. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, please share it, and please subscribe and press the little bell to see when we next upload a video. Bye.